Alright everyone, my name's Jordan and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. Triton Substitution is a way of making a 2-5-1 chord progression just sound a little bit more saucy, a bit jazzy, and just a bit more kind of jarring on the ear. So to start off with, what is it? What are we doing? We're going to take a 2-5-1 chord progression, which for this I'm in the key of B flat. I don't know why I picked B flat, but we'll start on the 2 chord, which is C minor 7. Well, I'm adding the 7th because everything sounds better with the 7th on it. And then we're going to go to the 5 chord, which is F7, and then resolving on the 1 chord, which is B flat major 7. It sounds alright, it sounds canny. But how can we make it better or saucier? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 5 chord, which is the F7, and I'm going to substitute it using Triton Substitution. So what is a tritone? If we look at the F, we're going to move up 5 tones to the 5th, and we're going to flatten it. So you get that? Which is a little bit jarring, not super pleased on the ear. You might recognize it from this. The Simpsons theme tune. It pops up all over the place. If we go back to the medieval times, it was actually illegal to write a piece of music using the tritone because in the church, the 5 to 1 was the strongest pull. If we go from the 5 to the 1, we get a perfect cadence. So in this case, it's F to B flat. But if we move it and we do a tritone, which in this case would be E to B flat. Now it's mad to think that like you could have potentially been burnt at the stake for doing that back in the day, but you know, things have changed. So what we're going to do, going back to that 2-5-1 chord progression, which with ours was C minor 7, which is the 2, F7, which is the 5, and then B flat major 7, which is the 1. We're going to take that F7 and we're going to shift it up by a tritone, which takes us to B, that B7. Now let's play the chord progression. Rather than going 2, 5, 1, we're going to go 2 to the substitution and then to the 1. So all we're doing basically is taking that 5 chord, moving it up a tritone, so take it to the 5 and flatten it down to the B. We'll get that, and then that's the progression. We're going to go C minor 7, B7, B flat major 7. Now, how much cooler does that sound? One of my favourite parts about that is the chromaticism. So we're getting the C, the B, and then the B flat. Bum, bum, bum. Now, how can we take that one step further? If we look at that B7 chord, what I like to do, I'm obsessed with chord extensions and changing things around a little bit. So the 5 chord, with it being dominant, can have a variety of extensions. That could be, let's have a look. We could have a 7th. We could have an 11th. We could have a 7 flat 9. Or in this case, which I'm going to use, is a 13. Now, the reason I'm using the 13 is because if we use this voicing of C minor 7, which has the root, the minor 7th, the minor 3rd, and the 5th, and then we go down to the B13, what's really nice is the 5th of the C minor 7 can go up a semitone to the 13. And then if we voice the B flat major 7 that way, the major 7 of the B flat also moves up a semitone. So as well as getting that nice chromaticism going down, which is C, B, and then B flat, we also get this really nice chromaticism going up from G sharp to an A. So altogether you've got this, put all of the saucy notes in between and we get that. which kind of, to me, like growing up listening to a lot of Frank Sinatra, big band music, that there is something that you might hear in one of the arrangements. Imagine that being played on brass. Or the major 9 on the top. Just all of the saucy stuff. It's all my favourite. What I'm going to do now is just talk a little bit about one of my favourite examples of tritone substitution. So growing up, I've always been a massive fan of the Beach Boys. Obviously, getting into Brian Wilson then took us on to listening to barbershop quartet music, because obviously, like, there's a huge influence in the Beach Boys music from that. And the go-to was the Four Freshmen. One of the first tracks that I heard by the Four Freshmen, probably when I was around about 17, 18, was their version of Over the Rainbow. The original version of Over the Rainbow is pretty outrageous anyway as a piece of music. It was written by Harold Arlen in 1939. If you look at the middle section on the original, it has that mad section anyway, which kind of, it does that. Nice little major 7 on there. And then that next bit, which goes ba 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 da ba 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 ba, that's where you'll find me. But what got us with the Four Freshmen version was right at the beginning. This happens. Over the rainbow. So when I first heard that, I was like, what's going on there? I had no idea. I just heard this over the rainbow, like that straight away, just the chords by themselves. I mean, imagine, I've got this idea. We're going to start by just chromatically mashing all of these chords together. If we look at it, it's actually just tritone substitution. So it starts on an A sharp or a B flat minor 7, which is the third chord in the key of F sharp. But what it does is chromatically goes down. Let's say B flat, A flat, G, then down to the G flat or the F sharp. What it's actually doing is it's just going round the circle of fifths. It's just replacing all of the 5 chords with the tritone substitution. So if we took that chord progression and played it without the tritone substitution, you'd get this chord progression. It actually sounds pretty nice, pretty easy to listen to, but what sounds cooler? Definitely that. Again, what they've done is, what I mentioned earlier, is they've substituted the dominant 7th chord for the 13 in order to get that chromaticism. So you get the leading tone of the intro starts on an F, which is the 5th of the B flat minor 7, and then it goes up chromatically to the 13, and then it jumps down, goes to the 5th of the A flat minor 7, and then it's going to go to the 13 of the G, and then chromatically up to the major 7th of the F sharp. So the high, like Brian Wilson style falsetto part goes over the rainbow, which by itself sounds insane, but when you add it all together, it sounds more like this. Over the rainbow. So in a nutshell, that's tritone substitution. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put any examples of tritone substitution in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and I'll hope to see you next time. See you later.